huge props to Logan Webb, man. That is really hard to hit on. I mean, he shoved it up our butt twice.
I'm not sure if I would have said it exactly like that, but Cody Bellinger is not wrong in saying that Logan Webb was absolutely fantastic in this postseason. We're going to break down the Giants versus Dodgers game in just a moment, but I wanted to show that clip because Cody Bellinger, he did tip his cap to a opposing player, but in a kind of funny Cody Bellinger way. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as use code Fuzzy if you're going to any playoff games anytime soon, football games or basketball games. Save yourself 20 bucks off your entire order. Now, we also have to talk about Lance McCullers, the fact that he is out versus the Red Sox. He is not going to be pitching in the ALCS. That is a big time blow. We also have Mike Schilt getting fired after winning 17 games in a row. He got the Cardinals to a playoff spot, even though they had a 1.7% chance of making it around the middle point of the season. And also Carlos Correa, he said he would be looking good in pinstripes. What does that mean? The Mets or the Yankees? It's probably gonna happen. Let's go ahead and break down game number 5 of the Giants versus the Dodgers. Logan Webb was going up against Corey Knebel, just his 4th ever start in the big leagues, and they both tossed a shutout first inning. Then Brusdar Graterol, he came in, and after that, Julio Urias versus Logan Webb. This was a special matchup because they did not want to start Julio Urias. They wanted to try and be as confusing as possible. That's why they went with Corey Knebel. Speaking of Corey's, Seager knocks in the first run of the game, and he scored Mookie Betts, who went 4 for 4 in yesterday's game. Urias was dealing until he hit a rough spot. Get it? Because Darren Ruff smokes a 452-foot moonshot to center field as he ties it up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Logan Webb was fantastic again. He has 7 strikeouts in 7 innings, only allowed 1 earned run and 1 walk. He etched his name into San Francisco postseason lore. I mean, he's in the same conversations, in my opinion, as Madison Bumgarner. He only allowed 1 earned run in 15 innings in the NLDS. Cody Bellinger, he was kind of the exact opposite of Logan Webb. He struck out 50% of the time in 7 of his 14 at-bats, and then in his 15th at-bat, he comes in clutch with an RBI single. He gives the Dodgers a lead off of Camilo Doval, and Kevin Gausman has to come in and put out the fire, so he sends it to the bottom of the 9th inning, where the game ends tragically on a very bad call. It wasn't even close in my opinion. Now, before that strikeout, Wilmer Flores was 0 for 17 against Mad Max Scherzer. He's now 0 for 18, so in my opinion, yes, it was a bad call, but it would have just extended the inevitable. Wilmer Flores, in my opinion, was not going to get on. I mean, he's 0 for 18. That pretty much says Max Scherzer is his daddy. Then again, Cody Bellinger was 2 for 48 in the regular season versus the Giants, so maybe that just means Wilmer was due and he was bound to get a base hit off of Mad Max at some point, and maybe it would have been on the next pitch if they had called it correctly. So, Giants fans, I know they're feeling very cheated. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the Dodgers are all-time talented. Now, yes, the Giants had a magical season, but from a talent perspective, I do think that the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. I picked them to win the World Series against the Astros. Right now, my World Series pick is looking pretty good, but with that Lance McCullers injury, I don't know, it might be a little bit shaky. Now, I did call this the best rivalry on Twitter now. I'm not saying that the Red Sox versus Yankees is completely null and void and it doesn't exist anymore, but it hasn't been as exciting the last few years. But Mookie Betts, he kind of shut me up. He would know better than me because he's on the Dodgers, he played for the Red Sox, and in this quote, he was talking with Max Scherzer after the game in an interview. He pretty much said that East Coasters care about baseball a whole lot more than West Coasters, that they're a whole lot more passionate, and that's why the rivalry is so much richer between the Red Sox and the Yankees. So maybe I'm going to take back my statement that the Giants versus Dodgers rivalry is now the best in baseball, but in terms of a baseball perspective, it's up there with the Red Sox and Yankees. But of course, Boston versus New York, there's that passion, which probably you don't get with 2 West Coast teams. Now again, I just want to say, I'm not saying you guys are not passionate, but I think we as people in the West Coast are a little bit more laid back than those in the East Coast. I'm pretty sure that we can all agree upon that. Now, speaking of Boston, let's go ahead and talk about the Game 1 matchup versus Houston that is happening today. We have Chris Sale versus Framber Valdez. Framber, he was not good in his start versus the White Sox, and Chris Sale has not been great this postseason, and really, he hasn't been dominant in the postseason to begin his career, so maybe he can turn around that today. All-star closer Matt Barnes has been left off the roster. Now, speaking of being left off the roster, same with Lance McCullers of the Astros. To me, me, he might have been their most vital player because he has come up clutch almost every single time the Astros needed him to so far in his few postseason appearances. So let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think is going to win this series? Obviously, I picked the Astros to face off against the Dodgers in the World Series. I am not swaying away from that. So I'm going to go Dodgers beat the Braves, and the Astros, they beat the Red Sox in 7 games. And same with the Dodgers. I think this might go 7 games. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the Cardinals manager getting fired, Mr. Mike Shildt. The reason why? A difference in philosophical ideas. Even though Mike Shildt has averaged 91 wins since he first took over as manager of St. Louis, he was manager of the year back in 2019. But St. Louis president of baseball operations, John Mozeliak, I think that's how you say his last name, they just call him Mo. He says that he wants to develop from within, and I don't have an issue with that considering their top prospects are Nolan Gorman, Matthew Liberatore, Ivan Herrera. They have a plethora of, in my opinion, superstar talents in the making. I think that they're all going to be fantastic. But does this mean that Nolan Arenado is not going to be re-signed? Are they not going to sign starters because they need to? You can't go in and expect a World Series championship from 47-year-old Adam Wainwright and 58-year-old Yadier Molina. Now, again, I do think that they have top prospects, but only spending $60 million a year, we saw it from the Rays in 2021. Yes, you can get by and make it to the postseason with a limited salary cap, but if you want to make it to the World Series, the majority of the teams that get there and win it, I mean, they're in the $150 to $200 million payroll structure. So to me, Mike Shildt, he pretty much said, hey, I'm okay with using our prospects, but I want to go spend $150 to $200 million just like these other guys. And the president of operations, John, I'll just call him Mo, he said, we're not having that. We're going to develop from within. And I guess that was the philosophical difference. So there you go. And then last but not least, before we end today's recap, I do want to talk about Carlos Correa hinting at going to New York because he said that he would look really good in pinstripes. Now, I'm not going to show the full interview because it is in Spanish. I know a lot of you guys don't know Spanish. That's going to be my goal over the next year or two. I really want to learn Spanish because I think that would help not only you guys so I could actually translate these videos for you guys, but also me in my pursuit of maybe becoming an MLB Network analyst. I don't know. That's probably never going to happen. Either way, Carlos Correa, he said that he would look good in pinstripes. Now, he did not give a color, but the guy who was interviewing asked about navy blue, blue, orange, and Carlos Correa just said he would look good in pinstripes. Now, if he goes to the Yankees, that would make a lot of sense because the Yankees, they desperately need a shortstop that can play defense and come in clutch in October. He would be the it factor for the Yankees. But if he goes to the New York Mets, that would complete the trifecta of Francisco Lindor, Javier Baez, and Carlos Correa as kind of like the face of the Puerto Rico team. So let me know in the comment section down below. Would you rather see Carlos Correa go back to the Astros, even though we know that's not going to happen? Maybe they up the ante and they give him all of the money that he wants. Or do we think that he's going to go to a bigger stage like the Mets or the Yankees? I mean, he is a superstar talent. He is a little bit injury prone. I hope that his back stays healthy in the postseason, but that's all that matters. You sign Carlos Correa to do damage in October. The regular season is just the cherry on top.
Now, one thing I would tell Yankee fans, well, I don't want Correa. He was part of the Astros team that cheated. Oh,
get over it.
Chill yourself out, please. You should thank your lucky stars that they want to spend that kind of money on that type of player. He's that good. Have you seen what he's doing in these games?
All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, that's all right as well. But thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there. And if there's anything special from this day in MLB history, I'll roll that right now.
High fly ball.